This is a video about my new studio opening in Shanghai. The studio has 5 spaces. One of them is a performance space. The performance space is for making new kinds of TV programs and new kinds of dramas and theater shows and new kinds of informative videos and demonstrative videos. The second space is a software space, where with software like G-Speak and these remote robots that you can control from your smartphone while you're hundreds of miles away. And the software space is for making smartphone applications and video games and wearable technologies. Then there's the third space, the game sports space. And this is for inventing new kinds of board games, new kinds of role-play games, new kinds of sports. And then the fourth space is a fashion apparel space for the drawing, layout, patterning, sewing, modeling of new fashions that we invent. And finally, the fifth space is the idea media space, where we compose new media and new idea tools and new information displays and new information display devices. And the idea is that in the studio, you have 5 activities that circulate among the 5 spaces. So sort of 25 experiences as the 5 activities deploy themselves through each of these 5 spaces. And the rough idea, and it's just rough, but the rough idea is sort of every month to end up at one point or another doing something in each of the 5 spaces, and in every month doing something in each of the 5 activities. And the 5 activities are the studio course, which is 2 full days a month, the last weekend of each month, for 2 full days on a Saturday and a Sunday. That's so that working people can take the studio course. And the studio course, which is 1 year long, 12 of those weekends, the studio course is actually equal to 7 or 8 normal academic full semester courses. So it's like taking 2 small semesters or one and a half normal semesters of a full-time college, doing it 2 days a week on 2 days a month for a year. Now, that's one activity, the course. Then there's the exercises. The studio exercises are 48 different assignments that I make for you of things for you to build or design or fashion or research. And so those are 48 exercises, one of them a week for a year. And at the end of the year, you have built 48 things. Now, some of those actually fit together build on each other, and so you end up with 2 or 3 big things that are composed of the many results of individual exercises. And that's the second activity of the seminar, of the studio. And the third activity of the studio is what I call model repertoires. And I have many of them, but we're going to start with just 4. One of them is 60 models of creativity. One of them is 60 approaches to design. One of them is 60 models of innovation. The other one is 420 dynamics of technology venture startups like at Silicon Valley. And there's not enough time in 1 year to learn even just the 60 models of creativity. It actually takes 2 years to learn those 60 models of creativity, if that's all you're doing. But we're doing many other things besides that. So no way you can learn those 60 models of creativity in 1 year. No way you can learn those 60 approaches to design in 1 year. No way you can learn those 60 approaches to innovation in 1 year. And no way you can learn those 420 Silicon Valley startup dynamics in 1 year. So what you're going to do is those are spaces we will explore together during the year. And you explore them during the course a bit, as I teach parts of them during the course on the 2 days a month where you take the course. And then you'll explore part of them on your own when you do exercises. You'll go to that repertoire of approaches and use some of them for particular exercises. So it's like a library that you draw from. And I expect in 1 year, certainly 12 of the 60 approaches to creativity, 60 approaches to design, 60 approaches to innovation, and 420 Silicon Valley, at least 12 of each you'll get in a year by being in the studio. And that's enough to show you how all of the rest operate, and then just reading the books I've already written on them would then teach you the rest of them. Then the fourth activity in the studio is the launch of a venture business and the formation of a venture business proposal. And that's the end result of the whole 12 months of work across those 5 spaces and across the 5 activities. So the end result at the end of a year is a good venture business proposal or two for each individual and team in the studio. And this means you have built things to show, prototypes to show to investors, to make, and to people, to possible customers to try out, to get them excited about, yeah, I'd buy that, I want that. And that's what you want. You want that amazing things that get other people to say, yeah, I want that now. And that's what investors do. Investors see other people saying, I want that now, and they say, gee, I can add a little money, and that becomes a reality, and then we get sales and we got a business. And that's the fourth activity. And it's sort of the culmination or the summation of all the other activities, that is from the course, the 120 methods you learn in the course, the 48 exercises, the individual things you build in each exercise, and the repertoire of approaches and methods you draw from, and then all of that fits together and culminates and summarizes itself in this venture business proposal. And then finally, there's this issue of fundamentally new interfaces and ways of talking and interacting that you are constantly using throughout every aspect of the studio, so that the way we meet and hold meetings differs from the way every other studio and group in the world holds meetings. The way we would discuss is very different and more semi-structured than other people's ways of discussing. More interesting, too. And the way we do work processes is different than the way anybody else. We do a lot of event-based building of things, intense work of lots of people in short periods of time. And the way we brainstorm is very different than the way other groups brainstorm. And finally, the way we read and write is very different than the way other people read and write. So you will find at the end of the year in the studio that your brain is applying ordinary mental operators to 50, 60 ideas in the same time that you used to apply those mental operations to 3 or 4 ideas. And so we're going to talk about a brain productivity improvement of at least 10 to 20 times in 1 year of experience in the studio. 2 years of experience in the studio, then you're talking about 40, 50 times more mental productivity.